Guys, Massing here bringing you a Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so we got the maintenance on JP for the new version update, and we have had a data download on global as well. This is to incorporate all of the upcoming events and the free-to-play units. Obviously for JP, this is largely for the release of the new version that has the removal of the awakening or unawakening reversal medals, the hourglass medals, and the implementation of the new system for feeding in dupes into the hidden potential, as well as the super attack leveling. So we'll go over that very briefly, but obviously that has not gone live on global yet. In fact, if I look in the news for global very quickly, I don't think we even have, do we have a maintenance announcement for when that's actually coming to global? I don't think we do currently, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But obviously we do have the stuff in the data download for the free-to-play cards, the Yamcha and Princess Snake, and the EZA for Goten and Icarus Jr. So we will go over their details here as well. But of course, to start off, we'll be talking about everything in the data download. Shout out to Proton, as always, for putting all of this information together into one handy thread. Make sure you are following him if you are on Twitter, if you want to get all of this information summed up nicely in one place once these data downloads drop. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have got. So Yamcha and Princess Snake, it's an angel Yamcha, so we've got the SSR art, and then yeah, the TUR obviously is him and Princess Snake together. I've not looked at the card details or anything yet, so hopefully it is like the Icarus and Goten, where the card just has all the Yamcha categories, because by putting these two together, like, the categories will be incredibly limited. But that's what they did last year. Even though the card is Icarus and Goten, the card just has all of the Goten categories, like things like Goku family and Hybrid Saiyans and things like that, right? Then there's an Angel Piccolo boss. This guy assumingly will just be one of the bosses you fight in the, or the boss you fight in the story mode. There's a bunch of Princess Snake assets and images, but I guess if she's part of the card, those will just be for like the story cutscenes and you're not actually fighting her. So yeah, I guess the boss of the stage. I think the event has 2 stages, so at least one of them is this Piccolo. Because it shows, it's a bit further down the actual map. So ESBR Stage 75 Turtle School, this drops tomorrow at 9 AM UK time. I will be live streaming when all of this new stuff comes out, so we'll get this done on the stream tomorrow. Then we have the Extreme Z area. This is obviously for the Goten and Icarus. That comes out tomorrow, although slightly earlier, 6 AM UK time, because we're currently in GMT +1. So a couple of hours before, so this will have dropped like just before I start streaming, so we'll get all this done on the stream, start getting the showcases recorded and things like that. So there's the EZA medals for them. Then we've got the support memory boost. So the support memory boost stage 17, this is for the In Unison Piccolo and Dende support memory. So after being upgraded, this one is going to be randomly change key spheres of a certain type, not including physical, to physical. Then GT heroes or joined forces allies get 2 key, attack and defense 25% for 2 turns, and then superclass allies 10% attack for 1 turn on the 3rd turn. So 25% attack and defense for GT heroes or joined forces, and then on the 3rd turn, superclass allies still get an extra 10% attack. I mean, these kind of support memories are, I guess there are some that don't apply to the categories that you're going to use for certain teams, but like, a lot of these categories, especially like GT heroes, for example, has one of those support memories that gives a permanent buff for the whole event, and is obviously therefore just a better choice than something like this. But I mean, some of these can be useful for some random events or missions where you have to use different teams. Obviously for joined forces, I don't believe there is a decent one for them, so I guess that could be helpful. But this kind of feels like one of those ones that you're going to get the stage done, get it awakened, and then probably never use it, but at least get the missions done to get like the rewards from the event and stuff, right? So then we have, here's the Perilous Snake Way event. So there's 2 stages. The bonus category drop is Otherworld Warriors, and you can see there's the medal for the Yamcha. So there's 2 different stages with the Snake Way and the Princess Snake Castle. Should be pretty straightforward, just a 2-stage free-to-play story event. Then we got Union Master. So we knew about this with the 2 stages coming out, which is technically 1 stage, right? Because it's the same enemies, but first stage is 3 required, second stage 5 required, and the enemies are a bit tougher. And the category is Transformation Boost. So this one is interesting because, like, sometimes with Super Battle Road, these kind of stages or these events where they are specifically tuned to like a certain category can seem or can be scaled to be easier or more difficult depending on what the category is like. I think some of the Super Battle Road stages that have been for very, very limited categories have been noticeably easier. Whereas for this one, Transformation Boost is just a huge category with a bunch of super and extreme characters. So it'll be interesting to see if this one is actually quite challenging. But this is out tomorrow as well in the early time slot. Same with the Yamcha and Princess Snake. Then we've got Petan Battle, the next Petan Battle 44. Damn. Series 22, and this starts on the 27th at 9 AM UK time. So that's next week on Monday. Obviously, by that time, we'll have had the live stream and know what's going on with the next Dokkan Fest release, which should then be later on that week. And then we've got a new battle background. Obviously this will be for the doing the Yamcha event, and you can see there we've got the Yamcha and some Princess Snake assets. So yeah, that's everything in the data download. Essentially at this point, I don't think we were sure on the support memory. Everything else, Transformation Boost for Union Master as well being confirmed. Everything else I think is stuff that we basically knew about, but now we have the times that everything is dropping. Most of the stuff is dropping about 6 AM, and then it's, I think, just the Super Battle Road, so Extreme Super Battle Road stage, Turtle School, for some reason is coming out like 3 hours after everything else. I'm not 100% sure why, but I don't know, I never understand why they do that. Like, everything else is dropping on the same day at a certain time, and then just the Extreme Super Battle Road stage comes out like 3 hours later for some reason. But there you go, it is what it is. I did want to just briefly mention, so the update we talked about on JP, Truth posted a screenshot to show actually a detail that we weren't quite aware of. So when they talked about how upgrading your super attacks would be a lot easier, you can see here they showed the example of God Goku, and on the picture it showed that you could put a God Goku or a Super Saiyan Goku, or that in Super Saiyan Goku, sorry, into this guy, because the Super Saiyan Goku, along his awakening path, the free-to-play one, is a God Goku who then awakens into Super Saiyan Goku. But it's actually even more comprehensive than that, which is kind of crazy. So this card here, like Truth says in the tweet, because LR God Goku has base Goku, that's what he starts off as, and Super Saiyan Goku as his TUR, you can use all of those named characters to upgrade his super attack level. So you can see here, you've got like any Super Saiyan Goku. These are, I think it's because they're URs, they're only they're SSRs, they're only 50%. But there's a base Goku, 50%, Super Saiyan Goku, 50%, God Goku, 50%. And there's another base Goku, the 23rd World Tournament one. If they're URs, that should be 100% according to the image that was shown on the update thing, which obviously does make a lot of sense, right? Because with characters now not being able to be reversed, that means characters like this God Goku especially, who their SSR is a different form to their TUR or their LR. Obviously the way you would have farmed their super attack before is while they're still an SSR, or you'd reverse them and then farm, in this Goku's case, a bunch of base Gokus, feed them in, and then awaken him up to LR. But obviously that would only get you to SA10, because then once you awaken him into an LR, that's when his super attack then goes up to being a maximum of 20, whereas now you could then still feed in a bunch of base Gokus to get him all the way to SA20. So for any characters who change forms when they awaken, this is a massive, massive update as well, right? So this is definitely something very interesting and going to be very useful. There's probably plenty more of these that I can't think of off the top of my head. The one that immediately comes to mind for some reason is the Int Broly, because he was one of those cards. He had the really cool, like, suppressed Super Saiyan Broly as his SSRR and then awakened into legendary Super Saiyan Broly. There is no farmable legendary Super Saiyan Broly, but there is a farmable Super Saiyan Broly, which means you'd be able to farm those up and feed those into Awaken, or to raise his SA level, even if he's already awakened into the legendary Super Saiyan Broly, because obviously there's now no way to reverse him. So this is very interesting and definitely has a lot of potential for being very, very useful in the future. So now let us go over the details for the free-to-play units. So bear in mind, I haven't looked at these, so this will be my first look at these and my first thoughts straight off the rip. So this is the Yamcha, Angel and Princess Snake. Decisive fight to demonstrate strength. So their leader skill is Joined Forces, 2 key, HP, attack and defense 50%. I mean, this is standard for a free-to-play unit that doesn't have an easy A, right? Although we haven't seen really a big increase in free-to-play leader skills since the 220 like meta started, because this is standard that then a free-to-play unit gets a 50% category, and then when they easy A, it will be 3 key and 77%. So super attack is the Wolf Fang Fist, unsurprisingly. Greatly raise attack and defense in 1 turn. Supreme damage to the enemy. Medium chance to crit for 1 turn. So they've got a crit chance in their super attack effect. So the way this should work, like with some of the other units we've seen, like the 6-year anniversary units and stuff, if they get an additional super, the additional super then has a 60% chance to crit. Then if they can do a 3rd super, like from Hidden Potential, I don't know if they have additionals in their kit, 3rd super of the turn would be 90%, and then if they somehow had a way to do even more than that, a 4th super in the turn would be 120 technically, and therefore guaranteed crit. So they've got some crit built in, which is cool, because as an AGL unit, they obviously get additional for free, and of course as a free-to-play unit, you get to rainbow them anyway. So that's quite interesting. Their base effects, 2 key, 200% attack and defense, recovers HP with candy orbs, which is just all of the Halloween units have this. Obviously there's very few events in the game where this is actually relevant. When attacking with 12 or more key, attack and defense 200%. So decent buff on super. When 4 or more superclass allies are on the team, attack and defense 200%, all allies attack 30% for 3 turns. So obviously they clearly want to be run with superclass characters. When there's another Peppy Gals or Joined Forces ally on the team, attack and defense 155%, launches an additional super and gets guard. Okay, that's interesting. So I wonder who's the best like meta relevant Peppy Gal or Joined Forces character, because Joined Forces is obviously, now that we've got reversible exchange, not a thing that's getting buffs like super often, but that's very important, the fact that they can get guard with a specific ally and a guaranteed additional super, which is really good. When HP is 50% or less at the start of the turn, recovers 55% HP once only and gets a 30% damage reduction for that 1 turn. Recovers 50% HP in general and 30% damage reduction. So whenever you're at 50% or less, you are getting a recovery of, what, 70% one time only? Whenever you're at 50%, regardless of how many times, you get a 15% heal and 30% damage reduction, which is pretty good. And then we've got their links are Turtle School, Infighter, Solid Support, Shocking Speed, Courage, Otherworld Warriors, and Shattering the Limit. And their category, oh no, yeah, so their categories are just, I was like, where are the categories? It's because they're there, but they're Joined Forces and Otherworld Warriors. Oof. So yeah, unfortunately, even though they did it for the Icarus and Goten, they've gone down that Joined Forces route. So because the card is Yamcha, Angel and Princess Snake, they are only on Joined Forces and Otherworld Warriors. So that is hugely disappointing, because when it comes to this thing of like the Peppy Gals or Joined Forces ally on the team, you're only really going to be running them. It's going to be a Joined Forces character, right? Are there actually any Otherworld Warriors Peppy Gals characters? I don't think so. So that's massively disappointing, because their kit seemed like they could be pretty decent for a free-to-play unit, but they're basically not on any teams. So that is a huge disappointment. So yeah, not sure these guys are going to get much use unless we get like, if we get sometime soon a new like Carnival LR or something that is like Joined Forces 220. But like I said, with reversible exchange being a thing now, it kind of seems like they're steering away from Joined Forces characters. So that is really, really unfortunate, because otherwise, kit-wise, these guys seem like they could be pretty good. Like a ton of stats, even though they're only obviously going to start off with free-to-play stats, but a ton of percentage in their passive, guard, guaranteed additional super, like with the right ally. So they're always double supering, which means they get a double greatly raised defense. They've got damage reduction. Oh, and that's only when you're on low HP. But the very first time you're below 50% HP, they get 60% damage reduction, which is quite good as well. But yeah, they're just not going to be on any teams, which is really unfortunate. And then we got the Goten and Icarus Jr. EZA. So yeah, their leader skill's gone to 3 key and 77% for Bond of Friendship. They also have the int type 50%. I didn't mention the Yamcha, and they have obviously AGL types 30%, which will go to 3 key 50 when they EZA, assumingly next year. So their super attack is greatly raise attack and defense. Now it's for 3 turns, so that's really good. Supreme damage greatly lowers defense. Then we've got key 1, attack and defense 250, which I think went up from like 200. Great chance of key +1 and another attack 250. Then they launch an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super, recovers 7% HP, high chance of recovering another 7% HP. When attacking with 12 or more key, attack and defense 200% and a medium chance to crit. When there's another Bond of Friendship ally attacking in the same turn, 2 key, damage reduction 35%, 1 time only damage reduction 35%, and then all allies attack and defense 35% for 2 turns. So this means like you're probably going to be running them with Bond of Friendship characters. We talked about this the other day, that this unit could be really, really good for the int Gohan, Goten and Trunks team. And so on turn 1, they're going to have 70% damage reduction, which for a floating slot 3 unit, is pretty good. Like, they're going to be in slot 3, supporting the rotation, 70% damage reduction, and then they're not back again until turn 4. So it's not like you have to worry about them, like, every other turn, which is interesting. And when there's a Goku family ally in the same turn, they have a high chance to dodge and an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super. So this is something I said yesterday when we were talking about their potential EZA of what they could get. The fact that they didn't have any other defensive capabilities built into their kit, whereas now they have a chance to dodge. So considering that their best build for the hidden potential probably is full dodge, and then they're getting, as long as you've got a Goku family ally on the rotation with them, they've got 2 extra attacks that have RNG chances to become supers, and they're greatly raising their defense for 3 turns. So if you get really lucky, like on turn 1, I say really lucky, but if you get like the God RNG on turn 1 and get 3 supers with them, that's 3 stacks of this greatly raised for 3 turns, which means when they come back on the next turn, they're then going to still have all of those raises on their defense. They're still going to have 35% damage reduction. They're supporting for 2 turns, which is really good. And then, yeah, they have 50% chance to dodge. And then with a full dodge build, like, they're going to be looking at what? Somewhere like 25 to 30 dodge in the hidden potential as well. And then, yeah, they've got, like, the good links, Kamehameha, all in the family, obviously very useful. And they're on all these Goten. Like, why did they do this for these guys and not for... Because, like, then with the Yamcha, you obviously would be on Earthlings, Earthbred Fighters, potentially Turtle School. Like, yeah, these guys just have all of the Goten categories. But for some reason, even though the card is still called Goten and Icarus, exactly the way a Joined Forces card would be, but they're not on, and they are on Joined Forces as well. So why? That's so weird. That's such a weird, like, step backwards that they did this for this card, but they're not doing it for the one for this year, which makes this year's card considerably worse. That's, yeah, very odd. I don't really understand that decision, but yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Goten and Icarus Jr. seem quite good, in fact. Running them on that Gohan, Goten and Trunks team should certainly be very interesting. They might potentially be, considering recently we haven't had any super great ones, especially with like some of the World Tournament EZAs. These guys could potentially be the new best free-to-play unit in the game, but obviously we'll test that out and see what we're looking at. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of these guys. Obviously, I would say these guys are really, really good. These guys massively disappointing with the... I just don't understand why they've done the exact same thing they did last year with the naming convention and then just ruined this card with the categories, whereas they decided to make a change and not do that with this one. That just seems really weird to me. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you think these guys could be the best free to play in the game? Do you think these guys will actually get any usage for anything? Let me know your thoughts down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.